Don't put your hands on me, sunshine.
I'm shutting
Don't put your hands on me. Here we are, new HMO, Charville. It's all cameraed up, all sectioned off high fences around the gardens and stuff. It's a bit much for a HMO. What have they got these big high fences around the gardens for? Charville Lane. So this is the old children's home. There was a lady who had a petition going to get this all closed down. Don't look a very friendly place, does it? Like all gated up and stuff. Look at this, gated up, all brand new houses, all the doors open. I think there's lads working on them. Look, all kitted out with like all brand new furniture and stuff in there. Loving it. The bins full of brand new stuff. Let's have a look in this one. Yeah, look, all kitted out, brand new stuff. No TV on the wall, 113A, brand new front doors, a lot. It's like quite a secure little compound. What's in there? Yeah, these handles are not wanting to open, all key padded up, so I can't get in there, but it just looks like a little play area. New toys for them. So yeah, not much, little exit on the gate here. And the big secure locks, double secure locks on the gates in here. Loving it. Got a guy around here working. Oh, you can get into the courts from here. All right, mate. How we doing?
All right.
Not bad.
What Nick Ferrari is doing in this clip is a classic example of fear-based political framing. He presents immigration not as a policy debate, but as an existential threat to public safety and national identity. By invoking vivid, violent imagery, stabbed to death, screwdrivers sexually assaulting us, murdering us, he is not simply arguing that the government has failed, but that the failure is catastrophic, personal, and imminent. The repeated references to specific countries like Somalia, Ethiopia, and Libya turn the issue into a targeted indictment of non-Western migrants, reinforcing the idea that danger is foreign, imported, and preventable. His rhetorical move is to place the blame not on individual criminals, but on the political class, accusing them of cowardice, indifference, and even betrayal. The phrase national scandal frames inaction as moral corruption, not just incompetence. And when he mocks the one-in, one-out policy as pathetic, he signals to the audience that half measures are not just insufficient but insulting. The emotional through line is clear. The state has abandoned its primary duty protection and citizens are left to suffer while leaders refuse to act. This is not just commentary. It is a call to anger, a demand for harsher borders, tougher policing, and a politics driven by fear of the outsider rather than reform of the system.
Breaking tonight, a brutal truth the government won't say out loud, but I will tonight on this show and on this channel. Britain is facing a migrant crime epidemic. I've been watching my country from afar in recent months since I arrived in America, and to say I've been shocked at what's been going on back home is an understatement. So tonight I've decided to reel off as many examples of migrant crime as I can in just a few minutes, that's the most amount of time we've got to be frank, to highlight the sheer volume of the issue, and there are plenty more beyond these examples. And a warning, some of the details in this report may be distressing and viewer discretion is advised, but it is the cold, hard truth we need to face. Let's start with Afghan asylum seeker Shafullah Rasuli. Here he is, found guilty of sexually assaulting 2 women while working illegally as a food delivery driver in Maidstone. Kuwaiti national Mobarek Al-Matouri, found guilty of sexually assaulting a young girl in a shop and holding nearly 4,000 indecent images of children, some as young as 8 years old. Ethiopian national Hadush Kibatu, we all know him by now, found guilty of sexually assaulting a 14-year-old girl and a woman while staying at the Asylum Hotel in Epping. He was mistakenly released from prison, of course, before finally being deported, not before being paid £500 of your money, by the way, to go home. Elsewhere, Somali national Habi Kambadextra, found guilty of stabbing a man to death inside a high street bank after calling a migrant charity and saying he planned to kill 500 people. Let's go on, shall we? A Romanian national Ayan Pintaru, who pled guilty to wounding with intent to cause grievous bodily harm after stabbing an 11-year-old girl in Leicester Square. 4 Kurdish migrants, Hannah Hassan, Osama Kadir, Dawa Mantik and Yosef Shaban from Iran and Iraq, there they are on your screens, found guilty of roaming streets armed with machetes and knives. Tunisian migrant Hussein Noura and Sudanese migrant Ibrahim Zohri found guilty after chasing migrant hotel staff with knives because they didn't like the breakfast being served. Should we go on? A Turkish national known only as KD found guilty of stabbing his wife, who then won the right to stay in Britain after arguing he might face anger from his in-laws back home. Sudanese migrant Deng Chol Majek found guilty of murdering hotel worker Rhiannon Sky White, stabbing her more than 20 times with a screwdriver. Romanian nationals Misia Marian Cumpulescu, Remu Stan, Catalin Dobre, Christian Urilantu and Alexandra Pagona found guilty of running a grooming gang that raped and exploited 10 women in Dundee. Iranian migrant Amir Abedi Mofrad found guilty of raping a 15-year-old girl. By the way, he already had 11 assault convictions in Germany. Algerian national Sid Ali Jelid found guilty of raping 5 men and women in Manchester. Are you bored yet? I'm going to carry on. Congolese national Ancient Malaya found guilty of raping a 15-year-old girl and leaving her pregnant after multiple failed deportation attempts. Iranian migrant Abdullah Ahmadi and Egyptian nationals Karen al-Dassarat and Ibrahim al-Sheikh found guilty of raping a woman on Brighton Beach. Syrian brothers Omar and Mohammed Badarin found guilty of leading a grooming gang that raped a 13-year-old girl after threatening to kidnap her. Afghan asylum seekers Sadiq Nizrak found guilty of raping a 15-year-old girl after following her down a street. Afghan migrant Rapullah Amdazi found guilty of raping a teenager after telling her he'd be her boyfriend. Syrian national Hadi al-Kumi found guilty of sexually assaulting 4 women in just 3 days. Egyptian small boat migrant Mustafa El-Bohi remanded in custody accused of raping a woman twice after using Google Translate to tell her, "I want to F you." Romanian national Eugen Similac found guilty of raping a woman walking home alone in Cornwall. That's just a fraction of the examples we found today. It's a 2-hour show, so I haven't got the time to reel them off over the course of 2 hours, even though I could physically sit here now for 2 hours and fill the 2-hour show with example after example. These are the only ones that GB News has been able to compile before we came on air. There is no log of all the crimes committed by migrants, mainly because we probably don't even know who's in Britain to begin with. And just to put this in perspective, in Bournemouth alone, police have brought 116 charges against migrants staying at just 3 hotels. 116 charges against 116 migrants at 3 hotels. That's one small corner of Britain. Now, multiply that across every city, across every town, and across every street in the country. We're told most migrants are decent people, and of course, many are. But when the border is broken, predators walk right through. Britain isn't heartless, but it's becoming lawless. America, where I am today, defends its borders. Britain defends its excuses. And if the system can't tell the difference between a refugee and a rapist, then the system has no right to call itself fair or safe, because right now, the only thing being deported is trust. GB News has this evening contacted the Home Office for comment, and this is what they told us. When foreign nationals commit serious crimes in our country, we will always do everything in our power to deport them. Under this government, returns of people with no right to remain in the UK have surged with 35,000 people, a 13% rise compared to the previous year. Of the total returns since the election, nearly 5,200 were of foreign national offenders, an increase of 14%. We are now reviewing the domestic application of the the European Convention of Human Rights to change the way in which it is applied in immigration cases. I'm sorry to start the show on such a sombre note this morning at midnight, but as I said to Patrick in the last hour or so, when you watch your home country from afar, as I have across the Atlantic over this past couple of months, you can see from a bird's eye perspective the chaos that is being unleashed on the nation I love. Well, let's get the take.